Every year, a third of all food produced ends up in the bin, fueling climate change and biodiversity loss. In Brighton, the fight against food waste is ramping up. Now, Brighton and Hove City Council is launching a citywide food waste collection service, part of a national push under the Environment Act. But while policy catches up, local changemakers have already been leading the way, rescuing surplus food, feeding communities, and transforming waste into something powerful.
This is the basic contradiction that on the one hand, there's a lot of food getting wasted, but then on the other hand, there's a lot of people who need to eat. The way our cafes work is that, I say we've got people coming in because it's pay as you feel who don't necessarily have any money, but we get to know them by name, build up a relationship with them, try and help them. Supermarkets stop selling food when it reaches its best before date, and so that the idea was to get our hands on food that was going to get thrown away and wasted. When the project started in 2014, there was no kind of system. I mean, people were even fishing food literally out of bins. I think the collection of food waste, has been announced, and I think Brighton is about to set up some sort of scheme. Right now, we compost our excess, our waste in our own composters. There are one or two small businesses who will come and collect food waste and, again, turn it into compost. Yes, it remains to be seen how that's going to work, but the council is saying they're going to have a scheme to do that, so that's going to be quite interesting to see. It's kind of early days because I say it's only just been announced and nothing's actually happened yet.
So officially, Compost Club was set up in April 2021, but I was sort of playing around and experimenting for about a year before that. So we had a ton bag go out to somebody who was a landscape gardener, and market gardeners use it, but mostly it's sort of allotment holders, households. So people sign up as Compost Club members, we collect their food waste, bring it here, process it all. Every time we collect from them, we just leave them a clean bucket. So the idea is to kind of make like the right choice, the convenient choice, because I think part of the problem we're in is this convenience culture thing that leads to kind of wreck and ruin. So the journey of the food waste is essentially it comes in these buckets. Most members, we give a little pot, it looks like a little hummus pot that they just reuse, filled with the bokashi bran. So they add that as they're filling their bucket, so it pre-digests and ferments the food waste. Then it goes into these tumblers, gets really hot just from the microbial activity, mixed with the wood chips. So that all goes in, and then it goes into these bays and matures. As I say, when it's the colder months, we then bring it out of those and build these windrows, and that just allows the compost to break down more. When we test it under microscope, it's already what we would call biocomplete at that point, so it already has enough microorganisms and in the right kind of ratios of fungi to bacteria. What happens is the council announces, we're going to bring in food waste composting, and everyone goes, yeah, at last. But then if you look at how they're going to do it, it's really bad, because they're looking at it basically from a perspective of carbon, rather than my perspective is soil regeneration. All the inputs that come here are other people's waste, so the buckets used to get thrown away. The wood chips are from local tree surgeons, waste from their work. And obviously the food waste is food waste from people in and around Brighton, Hove, Lewis. So everything that comes here is waste. Waste. Human invention doesn't exist in the natural world outside of us. It's a really bad idea. They say waste is a lack of imagination.
The Brighton and Hove Food Partnership was established in 2003 by local residents, but the Brighton and Hove Food Strategy Action Plan was launched early this year, focusing on reducing food waste and tackling food poverty. The council has allocated £1.2 million for the rollout, with plans to begin a phased introduction starting in September of 2025.